Hello again, my sweet angel babies. We are back here again for a new math lesson. So since you've taken your test already, and if you haven't, you need to, you know that we're going to be moving on from topic 16, our perimeter problems, into topic 10. Yeah, I know we're going out of order. You'll get over it. So topic 10 focuses all on how we can multiply by different multiples of 10. So we're going to go ahead and use this question, just like always, to guide our learning. The question that we're answering this week is, how can I use strategies to find the product using multiples of 10? So just like always, we're going to break this baby down. So let's focus on this word here, strategies. What is a strategy? A strategy are the ways that we solve a problem. So they can be different tricks that we use, different ways of solving. So how can I use different ways to solve problems to find the product? Friends, what is a product? We are here at the end of 3rd grade. Lay it on me. That's right, a product is the answer for a multiplication problem. So I'm going to put an X answer, a multiplication answer. So how can I use different ways to find the product, my multiplication answer, using multiples of 10? Now, this is not our first time breaking apart the word multiples, but I know we've had a lot of trouble in the past. Remember, a multiple is any product of a specific number and then all the other factors. So the specific number that we are finding multiples of this week are multiples of 10. So 10 times anything, the answer that you would get would be a multiple of 10. So let's go over what are some examples for multiples of 10. 10, a great one. We've also got 20, 10 times 2, 30, 10 times 3, 40, 10 times 4, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, blip, 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 blip. All of those. If it's got a 0 on the end, boom, baby, it's probably a multiple of 10. So we're going to be multiplying 1-digit numbers by our multiples of 10. So you're going to see problems this week that look like 9 times 60. That would be a great example because we're finding a product, we're finding a multiplication answer with a multiple of 10. So which of those two numbers, 9 or 60, is a multiple of 10? If you're showing me 60, then you are correct. All right, so let's go ahead and go over our anchor chart for the week because this is really going to help us out as we solve. So I know my anchor charts are kind of small, but I'm going to repeat again, don't worry. You can find a picture of this that you can zoom in, you can save it, you can pull it up on your computer in the anchor charts folder in this folder. So check the anchor chart folder. If you want to look at this close up, you definitely can. So here we're going to start off just with another definition of multiple. Remember that it's the product of a number, here, 10, multiplied by another number. So our multiples that we're going to be messing with this week are multiples of 10, like 10, 20, 30. And then the most important part of this video, what are the strategies that we can use, Miss Ingram? How are we going to find these answers? Don't worry, lots of options for you. And they're all options that we've used previously this year. So none of this is new. Once again, we're just going over stuff that we've already learned. So our strategy here, right off the bat, is the associative problem. So remember, the associative property is when you can multiply and change the grouping of our factors. Remember our 3 best friends? So it doesn't matter who's hanging out in those parentheses, we can switch them around, whether it's these two, these two, these two, I don't care. So here's an example that I gave you. If you've got a problem like 5 times 30, if you are using the associative property to solve it, you know that 30 is actually the same as 3 times 10. And then we kick the 10 out and we bring the 5 in. And instead of doing 3 times 10 first, we do 5 times 3 first to give us 15, which we can then easily multiply by 10 by just slapping a 0 right on the end. Now you can also just use the number patterns that you know. So friends, that means our skip counting and just slapping a 0 onto the end. So here we've got the problem 8 times 40. Now, I know my skip counts by 8, so I went ahead and I just wrote them out. Here I wrote 8, 16, 24, and 32. And then you can see that I took that 0, that times 10, and I just slapped it onto the end to help me find my answer of 320 for 8 times 40. Another strategy you can use is place value. And place value is when you can use drawings or place value blocks to help you. So here I drew out an example. So when you've got a problem like 9 times 20, we know that that multiplication symbol also means groups of. So if I'm talking about 9 times 20, I'm talking about 9 groups of 20. And we know that 20 happens to be 2 different tens. So I drew my 9 groups, and then I drew 2 tens rods in each group, and then I used my skip counting to help me find my answer. So for my 9 groups of 2 tens each, I had 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, and last but not least, my answer, my product of 180. And then our last strategy that you can certainly use is our distributive property. Remember, the distributive property is when you break apart the factors into numbers that you know, that make sense to you. So in my example here, I broke up 8 times 30. Now the factor that I broke up here was my 8, and I broke up 8 into 4 plus 4. Is there another way that I could have done this, or does it have to be 4 plus 4? I could break it up any way that I wanted. If I wanted to break that 8 into 1 and 7, to 2 and 6, 5 and 3, remember you break it into the numbers that you know your multiples of, that you can multiply by easily. So I broke up my 8 into 4 plus 4, and then I finished writing out my distributive property sentence. So I've got 4 times 30 plus 4 times 30, and then I found my answer down there. My products, 120 plus 120 equals 240. Boom, baby. So each of these different strategies will be focused on in different lessons this week. So don't worry if I went over this quickly and you're like, no, Miss Ingram, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't worry. We'll be breaking it down piece by piece with your lessons as this week goes. But remember, if you're really struggling with a concept or a lesson, we can always set up a conference or a phone call and we can chat, figure it out. But you got to let me know. Love y'all. Hope you're having a great week.